there's a very small chance that you're... And if you're an anime fan, fill in the blank. But fear not, because I'm gonna tell you about an anime where this dude, yes, this dude, falls in love with a beautiful young girl who rejects him because she's in love with his best friend. Yikes. But then he falls in love with a different girl that also rejects him because she's in love with his best friend. And that was the sad story of young Takeo-kun until one day this girl called Yamato actually falls for him, and then everything changes. My friends, today I want to talk to you about an anime with wholesome moments, hilarious situations, and a powerful message of love and friendship. This anime is called My Love Story, and if the cover art seems super lame, well, that's because it is. But don't let it fool you, because I wasn't joking when I said that this anime actually has a very powerful message of love and friendship. So powerful, in fact, that it inspired me to go out on the cutest date ever with my wife. So come with us on our little date as I tell you about My Love Story. Okay, first things first, let me introduce you to our main characters. Takeo, a 6'7" giant who's only 16 years old.
What did they feed the guy growing up? Grapes?
But even bigger is his heart. He's a righteous young man who helps strangers without asking for a reward. He's a sweetheart and strong enough to lift up a steel beam. Oh yeah, he's super strong. But he has one flaw. Can you guess? He's brainless. My guy has to get his friend to plan a date for him because he's too dumb to know that eating lunch doesn't exactly take 15 minutes.
Speaking of lunch, what are we gonna eat?
What about simple minds? I guess we'll take it one by one, baby, one.
Okay, now let me introduce you to Suna, classic quiet hot guy. He's known for stealing every girl's heart, including the ones that Takeo is into. He likes reading and watching the sunset with Takeo. He dislikes sharing his personal life and hates girls who talk trash behind Takeo's back. And last but not least, it's the super cute Yamato. She's the sweetest of the sweetest. Sometimes a tiny bit too sweet, if I'm being honest. But either way, she's painted as this pure little angel that needs to be protected at all times. She loves baking, just not as much as she loves Takeo. Dislikes? The thought of breaking up with Takeo.
And I wish I was joking, but that's all she cares about. Like, this one time, she didn't want to go to a fair because there was a rumor going around of a jinx that if you went to this specific fair with your boyfriend, it would increase your chances of a breakup by 200%. It's clear that she loves Takeo. And to be honest, everyone in the show kind of does too.
These three have an awesome dynamic from the very start all the way to the last episode. Takeo and Yamato get too nervous if they go on dates alone, so they drag Suna with them every single time. Of course, third wheeling is never fun, but Suna does it without hesitation because he wants the best for his best friend. He's a real G. Alright, I want to tell you more about the story, but first, we gotta review this food. Come on.
So I got the shrimp tempura musubi.
I got the surf and turf.
Cheers. I got no complaints. Everything seems just well balanced. Nice and warm. I think I'm just gonna give it a straight 9.
The fried egg, the shrimp tempura, the beef patty, the lettuce, the sauce that comes with it. It's just great. I love it. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Alright, let's get into the story and why everybody seems to love Takeo. Then we'll talk about animation, comedic timing, and direction, just to get a little nerdy. And lastly, we'll talk about Suna. Oh yeah, I'm doing a whole section just for him because he plays a massive role in the show and has a really important message for all of us.
Okay, now let's get into the story and why everybody seems to love Takeo. Also, we're in the movie theaters and we're about to watch a movie called Wild Robot, I think it's called, right? But before we got here, security actually told us that we can't film in the mall because it's like private property or something. They even gave us this code of conduct thingy that we're supposed to read. But once we got here in the movie theaters, the workers were so chill. They didn't tell us anything and they just asked us actually like what we were doing and they were just curious. Okay, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Now let's get to the story. The story begins with young Takeo
The story begins with young Takeo confessing his love to a girl who rejects him because he's ugly. And because she's in love with Suna, of course. Takeo has been living the same scenario since elementary school. He's used to it by now. It happened so many times to the point that when he met Yamato and she was clearly into him, he still thought that she was interested in Suna because that's the only scenario he's always known. But then Suna breaks the news to him. Hey yo, Yamato, it's actually into you. This was the very first time he was liked by a girl. And if you're wondering why she got feelings for him, it's because she was being molested in the train and Takeo scared the guy away. She thought that was so cool and has been in love with Takeo ever since.
Thank you. My friends, be nice to everyone. You never know who's watching you.
Everybody loves Takeo because he's always nice to everyone. No exception. And I'm not saying that being nice will get you all the girls, but it might get noticed by the right one. This speaks to me in a very meaningful way since that's like my motto. Be nice to everyone. And I feel like something similar happened to me where I was simply trying to be nice to everyone until finally someone fell in love with that part of me. And I think that sometimes we can take for granted the power of just not being a douche with people. Sometimes you do something nice for someone and God rewards you for it. To bring it back to my love story, I can confidently say that Takeo is the #1 example of being nice to others and finding the right girl because of it. And that's a beautiful thing.
We can't keep filming in the mall because security is probably looking for us at this point. So we're just gonna start heading home, I guess.
Alright, let's talk about it. Animation, in my opinion, is crucial. I mean, it's an animated show after all. It's definitely not everything, but it's very, very important. All the greats that we know and love have the best of the best animation. I bet you can't name an amazing anime with bad animation. You just can't. But if you can though, leave it in the comments. I'd be curious to know. My love story, in my opinion, is very well animated. In action scenes, but also in normal conversations, it feels like they're not cutting corners.
They literally can't get me if I'm inside an elevator. So but anyways, bad animation can sometimes take you away from enjoying the show. Even a simple conversation can be enhanced by good animation. Like, check out this conversation.
They're literally just animating the mouths to save time and money, which is cool, I guess. Sometimes you just have tight budgets.
Now check out this conversation.
Their face expressions, the clothing animation, and even their surroundings. It might seem simple, but it's the little things that really matter. I don't have much more to say about the animation of the show because I think it's the direction and comedic timing that makes the show great. So let's talk about it.
Okay, I'm gonna get a little nerdy for a second. The job of the director is to provide a vision of how everything should look, sound, and feel.
He or she decides how long the scene is gonna be, when the music comes in, camera angles, what the characters will say and how will they say it, and many other micro decisions. Being the director is by far the biggest responsibility in a show. Thinking about how something should look and feel is way harder than it sounds, trust me. I really like how they add the bubbles and the colors for when Takeo and Yamato have a cute moment. It's just like so cute. And the sound effects they add are just the cherry on top. Sometimes I catch myself smiling for like a whole minute. And the funny moments are just normal situations, but really funny.
And we're officially outside the mall, so no security guard can persecute us anymore. Let me show you one of my favorite cuts from the entire show.
Alright, let me break this down for you real quick. We quickly create expectation of what's gonna happen because we've seen this shot before. We know that when there's someone sad walking in the rain next to a road, a car is probably gonna splash them. And because of that, we create anticipation. But then there's an unexpected cut as soon as the mud hits his face. And the reason why it's funny is because Suna has never yelled that hard in the entire show until this moment, which makes it the perfect punchline for this joke. This is really hard to achieve. It takes a lot of planning and a great editor to make this cut happen, but it happens so perfectly to the point that it becomes my favorite cut of the entire show.
The angles are great, the cuts are great, and the timing is the greatest.
I want to point out something very important that, in my opinion, makes this anime stand out from the rest. So let's talk about it.
I haven't watched many romance anime because I feel like they're all the same. I feel like all romance is basically two people falling in love with each other, and then everyone else in the show just kind of serves as a stepping stone for them. The thing that I love about My Love Story is that the focus is on Takeo and not Takeo and Yamato as a couple. We learn about Takeo and how he tackles love. It's through Takeo himself that we learn about how acting nice or just being nice to everyone will eventually attract the right person. Not just a girlfriend, but also a good friend, like Suna. He might appear as the regular hot guy of the show, but his character actually goes way deeper.
He becomes friends with Takeo at a very young age because he just thinks he's funny. Eventually he starts admiring him for not caring about what others think of him, for being brave and doing things for others, and for having the biggest heart. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, Suna plays a massive role in the story. I mean, he's the ultimate wingman. He's the one that basically planned Takeo's entire first date with Yamato. One time he also helped Takeo buy a small gift for Yamato because he just couldn't figure out what to buy her. He never ever dated anyone who talked trash about Takeo. He third wheels the entire show so Yamato doesn't feel intimidated and nervous with a giant dude in front of her. And I could go on and on. Finding a good friend who compliments you well is not that hard, to be honest, but finding a friend who loves you and cares about you on a deeper level is extremely hard. Just because you vibe doesn't mean you're great friends. Just because you like the same music doesn't mean you're great friends. True friendship means being there when they need it the most. True friendship means sacrifice. True friendship means seeing them succeed and genuinely getting happy for them. True friendship means spending time together watching the sunset. This is what real friendship looks like, and I think all of us should strive to find a Suna in our lives.
The message is to not only find a good partner through your actions instead of your looks, but to also find the right friends. I've always been that one chubby guy that no one finds attractive. And if you're in a similar boat, then let me say something to you real quick. God has someone prepared for you. A good partner and a good friend. I tried talking about this anime spoiler-free so you can go and experience it on your own. It's 24 episodes and you can catch it on Crunchyroll. And if you already have a partner, then maybe consider watching it together. Who knows, maybe it'll inspire you to go out on a little romantic date, just like us. So, yeah, until next time, bye!
Simple, simple, simple mind.